3 News Now Web Extra.
So we'll just kind of, start from where you remember essentially that day. It was, I think, started out as any normal September Tuesday, and then obviously it went very badly. So just kind of what are your initial thoughts of what you remember when you first started, things were going down?
Well, it was a day pretty much like today, Monday, the 29th or 30th?
Yeah, 30th.
The 30th. Sunny day, bright blue skies, and I was being driven back to the office from a breakfast meeting with a lot of supporters, and so it was not something anybody was expecting, and least of all on such a bright day. But I heard something on the radio in the car about firefighters and the flames and stuff like this, and I thought to myself, it must be a house fire somewhere or something like that. We parked in the Hart Senate office building in the parking garage. Got in the elevator, went up, we walked into the office, and there was like one person there, and everybody was in my office watching the TVs. Okay. We went in, and just about the time the plane hit the second tower, which we saw that happen. Well, we knew we were at war. We just didn't know who the enemy was or why the enemy was. So as we got more information, we dismissed everybody from the office and said, go home. We kept a handful, and we went over to my house, which is only 6 blocks from the Hart building in the Capitol on Constitution Avenue. Went over there and set up a command center, to the extent we had one, with Blackberries and cell phones with virtually no cell service. Okay. And we tried to reach out. The Senate was totally unprepared technologically for anything. There was no plan in place, although, as it turned out, apparently the Capitol Police picked up the leaders and took them off somewhere off campus, if you will, to protect against it. But we tried to find out what was going on, to get more information, make sure that our staff was in good shape, out of harm's way, and we were somewhat in harm's way, depending on what the next steps would be with whoever was attacking us. As more things developed, we began to hear that there was an airplane that had tried to hit the State Department and had landed in the grassy field right ahead of the State Department. That wasn't the case. We heard that the Capitol had been hit. That wasn't the case. But we tried to get as much information and also let people back home who were wondering what's going on know that we were safe. Sure. Everybody within the office was safe and under wraps for the moment.
Okay, so it kind of starts out any other day. You're parking in the office building. You walk into your office and you realize something's off.
Something is way off.
Yeah.
What is it? And then you watch it, and of course, even at that point, there was still a belief until that second plane hit that had been an accident. The possibility of 2 accidents of the same type in close proximity pretty well indicated this was an attack. This was intentional, and we had enemies, and they were making themselves known.
You mentioned that you were getting, preliminary reports. Rumors of, State Department. Oh, the Capitol's been hit. But before that happened, when did it hit you? Like, well, I'm in a spot where I could be a target.
Oh, well, almost immediately, because if they wanted to do something in addition to strike more terror, then instead of just attacking more buildings, they start attacking people. It's not unlikely to think of the possibility that they'd have the addresses of members of the House and members of the Senate, members of the Cabinet, and have set up for some attacks that way. So yes, that goes through your mind as you're thinking about what else could happen, given the bravado to attack the Twin Trade Towers and the Pentagon, and have another one crash land in Pennsylvania. It became real clear as more information. It was real information as opposed to the imagined or false rumors going around, that this was real, and that it probably wasn't limited to just the trade towers.
Did you have any security detail or anything of that nature?
No.
Yeah.
No, in the Senate and in the House, the elected leaders had security, but no one else has security.
Okay.
And I've said that's a defect. I went through 8 years of security as governor, so I know how it can impact your privacy, but it also assures a pretty significant degree of security and safety. And I think you're probably at more risk. Most recently, with January 6th, with security getting members of the House and the Senate and staff out of the Capitol, protecting them from our own people.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I was going to ask about kind of the correlations. So, how was your staff doing? Because obviously they're thinking the same things you are. I'm in DC. Things could be was there panic going on? Your staff from other staff? Was everything relatively calm?
No, they were calm.
Okay.
There was no real panic. Mm-hmm. It wasn't que sera, sera, what will be, will be. It was, we're probably okay here where we are. We're not in one of the, we're in a house. It's not likely that we're going to be attacked. Everything's possible. But that we were out of the harm's way in the Senate office building or in the Capitol, in the Capitol environs. We were far enough away to be relatively safe.
So, outside of worrying about you and your staff's own basic safety, you're then watching what's going on TV and knowing, well, I might be voting for a war soon. So what is going through your mind as you're watching more and more TV footage, and you get the full picture of the Pentagon, Twin Towers, and everything that went on that day?
Well, it was my opinion almost immediately that yes, we would have to take appropriate reaction to what we were seeing and what we were experiencing and what we anticipated may be future attacks. So yes, I was thinking about what kind of discussions and decisions would be upcoming. I'm sort of a planner, and I want to think ahead what this not only means today, what's this tomorrow, and what are we going to be dealing with the next time we're back in the Capitol, assuming in the Capitol and in our offices, assuming we get back into our offices, and how soon. But I knew it was going to be something more than, it wasn't this unfortunate. This was unfortunate, it was uncalled for, and unprovoked.
Mm-hmm. So now you have 20 years to reflect on this. We now see what's going on in Afghanistan today. I guess, as you look back at what the government did, what steps it took, what are you proud that the United States did? Where do you kind of have some regrets, or do you reflect on those kind of things?
Well, I don't think we had a choice in terms of going in to knock out the groups that were giving security and shelter to the Al Qaeda and to the terrorists that attacked us. That's where they had been training. It was a staging area for terrorism. So we had to do what we had to do. I think there's questions now more about whether the Iraqi war was as necessary as we were told. The information turned out to be false, and when your information's false, don't be surprised if your decisions aren't second guessed later. So, but with respect to Afghanistan and Iraq, it was not too long after the wars were instituted, and we were in full steam with allies from all over the world, including the NATO allies, that we had question, just like the kids in a car on a trip, when do we get there? When are we going to get there? How far is it going to be? And that's when people started asking, how long is this going to go on in Afghanistan? We went in and with a mission, we accomplished the mission, and now we're still there. And so when will we get there? When will this be over? Well, I remember an occasion, it was within a short period of time, that the Vice President, Cheney, went to Iraq, and he came back saying we're winning. My colleague Chuck Hagel, also a Republican, went over there, came back and said we're losing. And John Warner, Republican, chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee that I served on, said we're going sideways, not up, down, sideways. Well, they couldn't all be right.
Right.
So something's wrong with our analysis and our conclusions about it. And so John Warner and Susan Collins and I got together and came up with the idea of doing something that are goals that are measurable. Measurable not with winning, losing, but how much progress are we making, and how do we quantify it? How do we get it to be, if you will, 20% or 30% or 40%, and start arguing about whether we're at 40%, 100%, like that, as opposed to winning, losing. Get something that's measurable, so that you can deliberate back and forth and support your ideas. We got that through the legislatively, first with Iraq, and then with Afghanistan as well, because clearly we should have reasons for staying as opposed to dates for leaving. Everybody knows that a deadline that you give either is met or it's not met, and in some cases either one of those outcomes is bad, or both are bad. You miss the deadline, or the deadline is too soon. And we have today something that is the current administration's catching fits over, and for many individuals. But this is a failure over four administrations to continue to insist on quantifying it with a metrics. We're 60%. What's it going to take for the next 40 to get to 100? Will we ever get there? It looked rosy. We had a government functioning, we had a military, several 100,000, and it turns out most of them just laid down their guns and their helmets and went home. So anybody that thought that was sufficient to stay is wrong. The question is, should we have announced a departure date back during the last administration, which the president did? And some don't think that maybe this president should honor it. Well, there are consequences of honoring it, and there are consequences of not honoring it. And I think he chose, and I think it's bearing out, that we're going to continue to try to get people out, those who are collaborators with us, as well as American citizens, whether they're of Afghan descent or not. U.S. citizens will be brought home.
Okay. So you think that over the tenure of the four administrations, that they got more deadline oriented instead of goal oriented? Instead of saying, let's try to accomplish this, this, and this, and once we're here, we can evaluate. It was, well, how about May 5th? Be a bubble.
Yeah.
And you thought that really brought us to such where we are today.
Yeah, and I can really sympathize with the previous president trying to set a date. If you're under pressure to set a date, then you'll set a date. Will it be a good date or not? Well, you find out later. Probably not, because it's artificial. It wouldn't have been artificial if we had stuck to our guns, if you will, saying we have measurable goals that are based on staying, not leaving. Is it safe to stay? Are we accomplishing our goals? If we stay for 6 more months or 16 more years, will we achieve it? Those are the kinds of discussions that disappeared. General Petraeus came back from when I was still in the Senate, came back from a trip and gave us an outline and a full report on we were making some progress, but it was limited. He didn't come back and say we're making great progress. He said limited, and that's we can't just delude ourselves into thinking something's good because we're Americans and we always win. There are certain battles that are harder to win. The late Secretary of Defense, said it's going to be a long, hard slog, and he was right.
It certainly was. I'm gonna check my ankle. I just have a few more
Okay.
for you. So this is, I'll admit it, pretty open-ended question.
Sure, it's okay. So the answers are longer.
Hey, there you go. So we will reflect 9/11. It was 20 years ago. We just talked about a lot of the long-term repercussions that we saw. How much and how so did it affect the country as we see the Twin Towers go down, as we see the nation's military infrastructure get nailed? How do you think this affect the morale of the country, and what changed, in your opinion, for the better and for the good?
Well, I think it was a real awakening. I think it was very harmful to our psyche for a period of time. Who would have thought that some folks who were apparently from a country that we felt was an ally, Saudi Arabia, and I met with the king of Saudi Arabia in Arabia, Saudi Arabia, and so that was a shock to begin with. Then the fact that they could pull it off in such, I called it a non-technical attack. You just went out and got planes and ran in. There's nothing like a missile coming halfway around the world to attack. So it wasn't technologically adept, but it was very fundamentally adept when your guard is down, because no one has their guard up for that kind of an attack. So they knew what they were doing. They did it. That created a real, I think, disappointment in our lack of preparedness for that. Then I think when we took on the mission to pay back, and in payback meaning to get rid of those who are trying to harm us, as opposed to just we'll show them. No, take down their apparatus, their training, and everything to protect ourselves, so it wouldn't happen again. That's what I think happened with Afghanistan, was to avoid having it happen again. It morphed over into Iraq to be doubly sure. It was sort of like a belt and suspenders. As long as we're taking out Afghanistan, we better take out Iraq too. And with, unfortunately, inadequate, in apparently wrong intelligence information, it got us into that war. I think there really was no bravado about any of this. I think we felt we were on the defense, and I think today we still feel like we're on the defense. And that's not, we're not used to that, and we haven't gotten used to it. It's we win football games. We've won football games, and now when we've lost a football game or two in Nebraska, then that affects what your thoughts are about the next game, the next opportunity, or the season. It's not any different in how I think we felt with respect to this. The stakes are higher than the national championship. It might be anathema to say that in Nebraska, but I think people know what I mean. But I think we have to regain our footing in this world today, regain our relationship with our allies, bring about better relationships with the rest of the world wherever we can, and try to sort out where our enemies are located, how they're located, and what threat they represent to us, and move forward, recognizing and prioritizing the enemy relationships, not simply based on the size of the enemy, but on the tenacity and also the imminent threat that they make, that they present.
Do you think we have, in this 20-year span, sorted a lot of those things out, strengthened relationships with allies, the things you've said? Do you think the country's actually done?
I think it's being done. I hope it's being done. I think, it's easy to point to North Korea, but it's not just North Korea or Russia. I mean, you can go down through Iran, you can go down other locations where it's a hotbed that can boil over, Central America, or whether it's immigration issues. We have to prioritize and be sure that we're protecting ourselves. That's a tall order.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a tall order for any administration, and it's easy to be give criticism toward whatever anybody's doing, because no matter what they're doing, they can't do everything at once.
Yeah.
Even a dentist facing a mouthful of cavities ends up filling a tooth one at a time.
That's true.
I mean, so you have to prioritize and take care of all these issues that we have with the resources we have.
Absolutely. It's a battle I had for you. I just have a few more questions. Kind of cleaning up kind of the day of 9/11. You mentioned you kind of finished off where you're at home. You kind of set up a war room, for lack of a better word, kind of in your DC home. Anything else notable stand out that day that you really want to share, that you, whether it was talking with colleagues, whether it was other actions that you had to do that day, anything stand out?
Well, we didn't really have any ability to communicate with our colleagues because the lines, landlines and the cell service was overloaded.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have the technical communications we have today, the technologies. We had Blackberries, and they were just recently new,
Mm-hmm.
and those were jammed. So you didn't really know what was going on elsewhere. In some ways, it was watching television to get the best news that we could get.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned you were getting sources of information, many of them false. Where were these coming from at that time?
You know, that's always a good question. You know, when a rumor starts, the rumors and falsehoods travel at the speed of light.
Mm-hmm.
Truth travels at the speed of sound. So they just travel faster. You know, facts are slower at arriving than the worst fears that people are throwing out there. I heard this, or I heard that. And it doesn't take long.
Yeah.
So it's like gossip. It travels fast.
Yeah, I gotcha. It's a battle I had for in the 9/11 day. I want to ask you. You mentioned Iraq a little bit. Is there, when you reflect about that vote to go, and you mentioned the false information that you were told about WNDs, what do you reflect about the vote to vote for the Iraq War at this point? Now that you have some obviously time to reflect and some hindsight.
No, I don't think the vote would have passed if we'd had accurate intelligence from what was going on. We were told that there were weapons of mass destruction, that there were centrifuges, all the information, and it got to the point where when I reflected on it, I said, if they could somehow confuse and persuade the Secretary of State, Colin Powell, that all this stuff was accurate and truthful and was in existence, then what were others to do? I'm not being apologist for it or anything like that so much as I'm saying, what were you supposed to think? If all this was true, we were in danger and we'd just been attacked. So you have to kind of go back to the atmosphere of the time, and we didn't want something to happen again. That's what everybody was fearful of, that we wouldn't have our guard up high enough so that we get attacked again.
Mm-hmm.
And so if there was overreaction, and I suspect there was, that would be what caused it.
So a big part of what swayed you was Colin Powell giving
Sure.
a speech. Essentially, I think it was at the UN, if I remember right.
Yes.
Essentially,
That
saying
speech
he believed in it.
The UN speech was powerful and persuasive, and it didn't persuade everybody, I guess. But I was worried about the next event, and if they had weapons of mass destruction, and they had the capacity to move them around.
Yeah.
We had just finished a war with Saddam previously, and why wouldn't you think that the information was right? That's and particularly if it's coming from the administration, and was bolstered by Secretary Powell. And I'm not blaming him.
Mm-hmm.
But, if he believed it, then I thought it certainly had credibility.